This is Jesse's Drone Adventures. That's the title of his YouTube channel. I'm going to play a minute of this and then comment on one of his comments.
I've made multiple videos over the years documenting my findings and searching for cliff dwellings left behind by the Salado people, but recently I came across some new information that gave me a new perspective on what I do. For any first-time viewers here, let me quickly get you caught up to speed. Cliff dwellings can be found all throughout the state of Arizona, especially in the area that I'm at today on the Apache Trail. Some are extremely well known, like the cliff dwellings at Tonto National Monument, and others are hidden high up on the canyon walls and deep within the forest. The reason I love investigating these small caves, crevices, canyons, and alcoves on the cliffs with my drone is for this very reason. This is a clip from last week's video, and the point I'm trying to make is, from a distance, you would never know this was a cliff dwelling, but as we zoom in, it reveals something different. High up on these vistas, there are numerous outcroppings, like the one I just showed you, and many caves along the Salt River have been occupied by the Salado people. For those of you wondering what Salado means, it comes from the Spanish name Rio Salado, or Salt River. Salado doesn't exclusively represent one group of Native Americans like the Apache, Anasazi, or Pima, but it more so represents a variety of tribal communities that came together and lived in the Tonto Basin area just north of where we are today. But back to my point, I recently learned that the Salado people also use smoke signals to communicate from long distances, warn others of incoming danger, or alert the community of a ceremonial gathering. Now here's how this ties into all the little caves and outcroppings I've been showing you. It's important to remember that not every little cave or alcove represents settlement of the Native Americans. However, and this is the part that I find really interesting, I've found hundreds of these small caves over the last year with my drone, and I would say a couple handfuls of them have charred rock on the ceilings or on the sides of the caves. And maybe these locations were used to send smoke signals, and just maybe they had multiple smoke signal stations, if you will, set up throughout the canyons so that way they could relay messages all the way back to home base. I know it might sound a little far-fetched, but many indigenous tribes worldwide have used smoke signals to communicate over long distances. But I'm curious to see what you think. Let me know down in the comments section below.
I say maybe they use it for that. Maybe just had relay stations where they could communicate over a long distance. You'd have to have send up a code. I think what they'd do, they'd start a fire, then they'd use well, not burlap, but maybe a wet animal skin where they could communicate pulses. Like a Morse code in the smoke signal. One pulse would mean one thing, another pulse would mean another thing. Maybe a quick, bunch of small pulses, that very, very quickly would mean, danger. There's, we're going to get invaded or something. And if they just let it burn, they say, well, we're going to have a big festival. Somebody's getting married, or we're having maybe baby's born, maybe somebody died. We're gonna have a service for them, something like that. They have to kind of get together and have some type of code system. Otherwise, people might get confused, or one guy might start a fire and accidentally put the wrong message, and then it gets transmitted down the chain of smoke signals. Or maybe they're just cooking their meals in there. Maybe that charred rock was from number of meals I cooked in there. Just my ideas, dude. Love your videos. Bye-bye.